Hello, everybody. It's about that time. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey, everybody. Thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer comes from Arnold Brewing Company. They're down in Texas. This was sent to me by my brother, Brandon C. down in Texas. He sends me a lot of the Texas beers that I cannot get here. So, Brandon, thanks so much, my brother. I do appreciate it, sir. And all the beers all the wonderful beers that you send me, I do appreciate it, sir. And he has a little bit of more information. He tapes on a little bit more information on the back label here on some of these big beers like this that doesn't have that information on there. And he says what he's got on here is date brewed was June the 13th of 2016. The date racked was June 30th of 2016. The date bottled was May 15th of 2017. Today is the 16th of October. So May, June, July, August, September, October, 5 months in the bottle. Beer style, in the barrel it says oat wine. Type of barrel is Whistle Pig Rye Whiskey barrels. It says the original gravity, the final gravity, and the alcohol is 10.5% prior to barreling and 12.8% after barreling. And it says it has 25 IBUs here on this one. So, in all their, the Bishop's Barrel version, this is number 18. They're all just a little bit different. They do a different style for each one of them. Sort of like their Divine Reserve series, but this is the Bishop's Barrel series. So, final beer of the evening for me. So, and I've had this one for a while. Been cellaring it in the fridge for quite a while. Y'all been seeing it in the fridge for a long time. So I did the 17 the other day and wanted to do this. I try not to do these monster beers vertical anymore. I'm just getting too old for that, to drink 13, 15, 18% beer side by side. It hurts too much the next day for this old man. So I don't do a lot of those verticals with those monster beers anymore. I'm not saying I won't do it in the future, but it just hurts when I do those. Getting too old for that. It sucks getting old. It does. When I was a young buck, man, I can drink 2, 3, 4 of these things in one setting. But now, not so much. So let's see what this brings to the table. Like I said, final beer of the evening for me, so I'm expecting good things from this. The Bishop's Barrel series is very, very tasty. So once again, Brandon C. down in Texas, thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. 12.8% IBUs is 25, like I said. And we've got all the information on the back of the label I just read you that he's added to it, so I don't have to go look and seek and find, and I do appreciate him putting that on there. So it makes it a little quicker, a little easier, and I ain't got to do a lot of research. So it is very appreciative, Brandon. Thank you, sir. So let's get on with this. It says here, Bishop's Barrel 18 is an oat wine aged in Whistle Pig Rye Whiskey barrels for 9 months. So it was in the barrels for a long, long time. I'm expecting big whiskey notes on this beer. Especially since it's only been in the bottle here 5 months or so. So let's get on with it. I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. So let's get the cap off of this bad boy. A little bit of hiss, a little bit of smoke coming out. And let's get down the center on this one while I tell you the cheeses are sharp, blue, cheddar, your pungent cheeses, Gorgonzola and Limburger. And it says general digestive. Glassware to pint, Becker tumbler, snifter, oversized wine glass. I got my favorite snifter. Not much of a head on this one, guys. It says can be sold for a long period of time. I can't think of a single reason why you could not. It's just barely covering the top of the beer as far as the head goes. Over to the light is a rich red mahogany color. I can see the light right through the thin part of the glass at the bottom. Not so much through the big bowl part here. To the nose we go. Oh yes, very nice. I am getting those whiskey barrels, a little bit of woodiness, a little bit of oak and vanilla. Rich roasted malt, caramel, toffee, maybe some brown sugar. And some hints of some dark fruit in there, guys. Some raisins or dates. Smells very nice. A very, very nice beer. Smells absolutely wonderful. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Brandon. Wow. That is super delicious, guys. Wow. Wow. Super smooth, very well made beer. For a beer that's 12.8%, almost 13%, very well made. A slight hint of some alcohol, but not off-putting whatsoever. And I got a feeling that's just going to dissipate a little bit, and it's going to become, as it warms up to room temperature, comes up, all those flavors are going to combine, and the booziness is probably going to go away either by airing out or sipping on it, or a combination of both. Very, very nice beer. Very delicious beer. These guys down at St. Arnold do some really tasty stuff. You guys can get their beers. You probably already know that they make some exceptional beers. Their Divine Reserve Series and the Bishop Barrel Series beers are outstanding usually. So, and they do something different for each one. So, very nice. It's not like they're doing the same beer year after year after year after year. Each number usually represents a different style usually. So, well, this is right out of the fridge. Just let it warm up and air out and combine and do all the stuff that it does as it warms up to room temperature, and see what we end up with. This is a very, very pleasant beer. I'm not surprised at all. I knew this was going to be a very, very tasty beer, guys, and it is. I'll be right back. Alright, guys, I'm back. Missed it in about 30 minutes or so. Very tasty beer. A very, very nicely done beer. English, I don't know if it's English. It's an American barley wine. Aged in those barrels for 9 months. Very tasty. I am getting some of that woodiness, vanilla, whiskey. Oh no, I've got the hiccups again. Very tasty. Get some dark fruit. Black molasses, caramel, toffee. Very well put together. For something that's almost 13%, it's very tasty, guys. It's very, very tasty. Now that it's warmed up, I'm getting some of that whiskey, a little stronger whiskey notes. Very nice indeed. Anytime you get a barrel-aged version of something, usually, not always, but usually it's a little bit better than the standard version. So, final chug. Very, very tasty, guys. To me, this is a 9 beer. I'm going to give it, with all the information that Brandon C has put on the back of the bottle, 98. That's where I'm going to put this beer. Very, very tasty. You say, oh my God, it's a 10 beer. I would not argue with that. It's very, very tasty. It's a very, very well done beer. Everything that they're claiming on the label and what what Brandon has put on the back of the label is true. Very well done. Very easy drinking. A great final beer of the evening, which it is for me. All the notes are there that you want in a barley wine, guys. A nice sweetness on the back end. I am getting the whiskey from the barrels that they aged it in for 9 months. Very, very tasty. Very, very tasty. I would buy this beer if I could get it here. Very tasty beer. Like I said, 98 is where I'm going to put this. Pretty damn close to a 10. Over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 4.19. That's in their A- range. I think that's a little bit better than that. I don't know why you wouldn't think this is closer to a 10 than a 4.19 out of 5. But beer tastes are subjective, guys. I tell you this all the time. What I may think is a 10, you may think is a 5. What you may think is a 10, I may think is a 5. So it all depends on where your palate is and what you want out of a beer that you're drinking. So very tasty. I enjoyed this. Over to Untapped for our final check-in. They have it at 4.26. I consider that their A category also. 4.5, 4.6 is their best numbers I've ever seen. So 4.26 is their A category as far as I'm concerned. So I agree with that. I may have given it a little bit better grade than a 4.26 because of all the information that's on the bottle that I have, especially since Brandon took the time to add when it was brewed, when it was bottled, when it was put in the barrels, and what the ABV was before the barrels, and what the ABV is after the barrels. So all that information is very nice to have when you're reviewing a beer. So Brandon, thanks a bunch. I do appreciate it, sir. I enjoyed this. It's a very tasty beer, guys. And look for number 19 and number 20 to be out before too long. I don't know exactly when they do this each year, but definitely worth picking up if you're into the barley wine style. It's been bourbon barrel or whiskey barrel. Whiskey is a type of bourbon. And they aged it perfectly. 9 months and gave it exactly what you want in a beer. To me, yeah, it was very tasty. Like I said, if you think it's a 10 beer, I would not argue with that. It is pretty damn tasty. So, with that being said, guys, if you had it, let me know what you think. This is the Bishop's Barrel number 18 from St. Arnold Brewing down in Texas. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.